a happy medium. March 30th, 2020. I'm Jerry. That's Matt. Drinking a nice maple syrup Pepsi Cola.
This is blackberry wine.
Blackberry wine. Classy. Keeping it
Not
classy.
using a wine glass.
That's all right.
From scratch.
What's going on with you? Anything to talk about?
No, there's absolutely nothing to talk about.
I mean, without sounding corny or media frenzy. So it is Wednesday, and this is probably the fastest a meme has been dead in terms of overuse. It probably took less than 24 hours for the slap heard around the world. By 5 o'clock Monday, it's like, all right, we get it. This is done. And now it's backlash. Now we're going to scrutinize and dissect every angle and who's right and who's wrong and pro this and anti that, and everything we do in this day and age. So I'd like to start off with your thoughts. Or should we just not even talk about it? I don't know. I feel like we can't not talk about it, especially you being a comedian.
Aspiring comedian.
Hey.
I play one on, well, I'm not on TV. I'd like to play one on TV, actually. First off, I have tickets to Chris Rock's stop in St. Louis.
No kidding.
Yeah. I saw him last time he was here. He had guest comic Anthony Jeselnik, who is a savage, brutal guy. He opened for him. So I hope he does another like guest comic and it's like someone cool. So a lot of speculation of was it staged or not. And The question of if it was staged is what is there to be gained? Because Chris Rock's tickets are now spiking, but he didn't have problems selling tickets in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I believe last time he was here at the Stiefel Peabody, whatever you call it, they added like another show because it sold so well. That was no controversy going on at the time. He's hosted the Oscars many occasions and is known for being an asshole.
Yeah,
he's had some legendary MTV music movie awards, whatever, back in the day when that was relevant. He had some, he was pretty brutal to the crowd. Will Smith, after seeing that speech, he's insane. Like, that speech was nonsense. He's not in touch with reality. And his wife and their relationship is weird. And I'm just sick of them shoving it in everyone's face. I'm sick of his weird ass kids. They're all freaky people. I don't care. Like, so your wife is polyamorous and you're not cool with it. So you're going to go attack a comedian for making a ball joke. And then she's got some disease. Okay. I don't think that was well known. And she's always had short hair. So
do you know how many ball jokes there are?
Yeah. I didn't think it was that offensive. G.I. Jane or Demi Moore was in G.I. Jane, and she's still hot as hell. So I thought it was kind of like a compliment. I mean,
yeah.
And then you see Will laugh originally, and then he looks to her, and then he gets mad. And I mean, he's 53, Chris Rock's 57. These are grown ass men at like one of the most prestigious, and I say that like throwing up in my mouth, prestigious events in in entertainment. And it would make sense that they would want this to happen, so people, because that's what everyone's talking about. No one has talked about the Oscars in years, so it would make sense to have a controversial thing. Now it's creating a greater discussion over just a lot of deep-seated social issues, and it's just like spiraling out of control. And I don't know, like Chris Rock's not pressing charges, which is suspicious, but I don't know if I would have pressed charges either. I mean, I was in a situation one time, and we've talked about this when I first started out, and I was getting too big for my britches, where there was a guy who was blatantly intoxicated who was talking over everybody, not like to them, but just to the people with him, where like you couldn't hear the comics. So I tried to be a hero. Okay. I wanted to not everyone to like me, but like that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be like, I'm gonna shut this dude down. So I got up and I acknowledged him right away. And then he got up and moved closer. And we kind of went back and forth. And since then I've done a lot of back and forth people under silly circumstances, not hostile, and it's gone really well. This guy didn't do shit. Like he didn't like get up or say anything to me. And like I kind of ended my set with, everyone drive home safe except for one person in this room. And that probably got like the biggest laugh I got. It was just like awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, the guy was ejected. So what if he would have got up and like hit me, which is what like some people were apparently worried about. I made some people uncomfortable. So I mean, he didn't think like I'm gonna go up and hit you. Now like there's a lot of comedians, they have their sets and then they go out and they see who's in the crowd and then they kind of kill some time just busting balls. I mean, I've seen TJ Miller and I've seen David Tell lose it on people, and it wasn't like they were heckling them; they just wouldn't shut up, and so they just start like, cutting deep with the jokes. So what if we just like, I was just trying to participate and the comedian made me mad, so I went up and fought him. I mean, I've seen comics say like blatantly inappropriate shit to people in the audience, not like just being mean, but just to like do a shocking like kind of bit. What if that offended me? Well, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out now. I mean,
right. Does that open up?
And also like Will Smith's been in pop culture for like 30 years. I mean, so you see someone like that who I'm not gonna say is my male role model because I really don't look up to him, but like when I was, growing up, it was Independence Day, Men in Black, Bad Boys, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was hot. And then he kind of fell off and he started making like Pursuit of Happiness. Like, he made I Am Legend. He kind of really got out there. Then his like family started getting more exposed. And it just, Jada blew up when she dated Tupac. That was how she got famous, was she was Tupac's girlfriend. I know she's had her own career and she's been in movies, but I don't know, man. She's not worth like losing an Academy Award over, in my opinion. And I think that shows like real insecurity on Will Smith's part. If it is true, if it's a joke, then they got what they wanted. But it just shows it's something like if that was me, if I was Will Smith, I might have been like, fuck you from like my seat or something, or like backstage, hey, what, then I might have been like kind of like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
But that disrupted the whole ceremony. And he won Best Actor, and he's had a couple of roles that were questionably, should have been nominated. So no one's talking about him winning for King Richard. They're talking about him slapping Chris Rock, a guy doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing his job.
Yeah.
And they're sitting right up front. Don't ever sit right up front at any kind of comedy or award show. People will zero right in on you.
Right.
When I go to comedy shows, I let people go in before me because I don't want to sit up front. Hey, what do you do? I mean, I do the same shit. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want it to happen to me. Don't just let me sit in the darkness. Like, don't acknowledge me. And I went to Harlan Williams and he was doing all shit in the crowd. He wasn't like attacking people, but he was just like, he was making some jokes where like if you were like a sensitive bitch, you would go, hey, that's not funny, And I thought he was going to get me because he looked right at me at one point. And we're like, no, please don't. Say he made fun of my shirt. Say he made fun of I saw Todd Berry ask somebody if they're king of the St. Louis open mics because they're wearing some weird hat. Like, someone who wasn't affiliated with comedy, but it's funny, but it's also like, hey, don't make fun. You don't know. Like, you're just like, people are hostile. And I can't tell you how many videos like Steve Hofstetter, you ever seen his videos? So you just be like, his whole act is basically hecklers. He's, who that is? Steve Hofstetter, I think I'm saying his name right. He basically like encourages you to heckle him. And he's got like videos that like all over Facebook, Instagram, where like people yell shit out and he just like destroys you. But he might lose his act now because everyone's just gonna start charging him now. Like
yeah.
He makes videos like how to handle a heckler. Like that's what's made him blown up.
So I don't think the whole thing was fake.
I'm gonna go heckle Steve Hofstetter. Steve called me a moron.
So you don't think it was fake, right? I mean, whatever, premeditated. The only thing that, I don't at all, but that's everything nowadays. Oh, it was fake. It was fake. You get the, was it real? Was it not? The only thing that it happened right before his speech. So if
And
it
it
was,
tied into his speech too,
yeah,
because
and
he's talking about protecting women.
if it was premeditative to get viewers, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, well, they did it to get viewers. Well, it already happened. I guess people will tune in later to see if it escalates.
But this has made him look bad. There's a camp
terrible.
of people who are like, defend your wife, defend your woman. And then there's a lot of people that are like, this is toxic male behavior, of tough guy behavior that needs to go away.
What's gonna happen now. You basically are gonna become the butt of all comedian jokes. They're gonna rally around Chris Rock. Chris Rock's gonna do it himself, but the Chappelles, the Rogans, every comic it has to take on this at some point. It might not make a special because it's going to be timely. So
I went to a thing Monday night, a happening little area that does comedy. And yeah, that was definitely a hot button issue for many people. In fact, there was like a bucket he threw tokens in every time he mentioned it. Like,
funny. I mean, it'll be old news quick, but I feel like every single comic, whether you're on tour or not, is gonna touch upon this. And I guarantee Will Smith 99% of the time will be the villain in all of this.
Well, Chris Rock isn't pressing charges and issued an apology.
Chris Rock issued an apology?
He issued an apology.
Now,
my only thoughts on that were he's worried that he might get painted as like he attacked someone with a disease and it might hurt his sales. You know what I mean?
He'll be all right. But yeah,
because apparently off camera, he came out and was like, he didn't like stick his hand out to Will, but he was like up on stage, like, come on, man. And Denzel was in between them. Mm-hmm. And Will was looking just straight ahead and wouldn't make eye contact with him, like, fuck off. Mm-hmm. So I think Chris, like, I don't know if he's a good guy or not, but I think like he like, if it seemed like he like regretted it, like, and
he's just doing his job. He did
have his hands behind his back, which if someone was coming up on me, I'd have my hands right in front of him.
He's just doing his job. I mean, who knows if he even wrote the jokes? I'm assuming he did, but it's, we don't know who wrote the jokes. Like I said, I'm assuming he did, but you never know. He's just doing his job. And yeah, he could have, I mean, if it was a bigger comedian, or if it was someone like Joe Rogan or somebody who had like fighting experience, it may have gone down for sure, for real.
Have you seen the meme where like The Rock says it and Will Smith's like high-fiving him?
Yeah.
I know Chris Rock's a little guy, so it's real easy to go slap Chris Rock. But listen, like Chris Rock, he struggled on SNL to find his place. He carved out a niche for himself. He's probably one of the greatest stand-ups of our time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I remember you had one out, like an old album of his. I ended up having it was like from 1990. He had like a flat top. It was amazing. When I saw him last time, it was amazing. He was on Fargo, I guess season 4. Yeah. He was really good. He has made some questionable movies. He hasn't picked the right choices. He's supposed to have a big breakout called CB4 when he was on SNL that didn't take off.
Well, I mean, he's one of our guys. He's one of our SNL guys, man. He's with the Farleys and the Sandlers.
Like he's in Grown Ups. He's part of that gang.
Yeah, he's a part of that whole. I'll always have a soft spot for Rock, and I love his stand. I love this HBO. He had like one of the greatest HBO specials up until that time.
Remember when he was the voice of Penny Hardaway, Little Penny, or something, that ad campaign?
Yeah. So like, I feel like, especially our generation. I mean, Will Smith's the same generation. Well, it's not like he's older or younger, but I don't know.
Did you ever watch his sketch comedy show on HBO?
No, I didn't even know he had one. Or maybe I did.
He had one, won several awards.
Is it good? I'm assuming it's good. I mean,
it's a while ago, but he made like one about like Black people. How do you act when you get pulled over by police? And it's still relevant to I mean, obviously till today.
Well, I feel like he was the Chappelle before Chappelle. And then Chappelle took over. Is that just like genuinely critical thinking coming from a black person's point of view comedy that is just so hilarious, no matter who you are.
Chappelle, I think I remember seeing Chappelle come on Howard Stern for like Robin's birthday. Like they bring on guest people every once in a while to say happy birthday to Robin. And when he came on, and this was like early Chappelle show, they both were like, "Oh my God, it's Chris Rock!" Like, but I think he always was like in Chris Rock's shadow, and he got the roles Chris Rock wouldn't do. I mean, Half Baked was supposed to be his big movie, and from what I know, the studios changed it so much to make it more like kid friendly kind of. His was more like way more adult themed and dark kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was always in Chris Rock's shadow, and yeah, with his Comedy Central show, those 2 seasons really put him on another level.
Yeah. There was I was waiting to hear something from him last couple of days, and I thought I did see like, a tweet that had Chappelle's image. I thought it was like a quote from him, but it was just some person speculating, just like Chappelle's looking over, I'm going to destroy Will Smith with his next comedy. But yeah,
well, I don't know. Like, I mean, I can't speak for all comedians, obviously. I mean, I don't know all comedians, but I think that many want to have that freedom to be able to perform in front of a crowd. I mean, it's bad enough I've had people yell stuff at me at times too. I mean, it's bad enough, and I've made decisions before on like how to go about it. Cause like, oh, I don't know if you want to like really make that kind of joke with this person,
right.
or you know what I mean? I mean, there's sometimes people just yell shit out and they're enthusiastic, and then sometimes people try to finish what you're saying, and then some people they just are pricks.
Do you think he
like
hit him
shot at him.
do you think
And you
he
got to
hit
be
him?
able to defend yourself. It's your right to defend yourself. I mean, and it just sucks if it comes down to, I mean, what's going to stop every tough guy from going to an open mic and just yelling shit at people, and then
Right.
when they cut into them, just beating the fuck out of them. So
Do you-
Will Smith did it.
Do you think he hit him because they have to be acquaintances? I mean, they have to be. They grew up in the same world. Like, do you think if like it was like a Ricky Gervais or somebody, not in the same clique or same whatever, do you think he would have just done the yelling thing, just like told him, shut the fuck up, or, what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know.
If your brother makes fun of you, hit your brother, but if a stranger makes fun of you, you're not going to hit your brother or hit a stranger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know if he was with this familiarity with Chris that made him comfortable in disrespecting him like that. I don't know. That's a really good question. But that's also really sad because you treat the people you know like shit and the people you don't know better. Isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, just
I think Will is mentally unstable and insecure and has a really toxic relationship, and he's just like a puppet for that Jada, and she's not worth it, I don't think. And not because she's bald. I just think she's like not a good person. Or she has that stupid show, whatever, on Facebook. I don't know what it's on.
I knew
that's when she like airs her dirty laundry. Like, imagine having your wife do that about you.
I didn't know
beat someone up over that.
I didn't know anything about them or her before. I just knew her latest movie was in the Matrix movie. I didn't even know it was her because she was in so much makeup. I didn't know what else. I didn't know anything about the relationship.
Feel like she aired that like she was cheating on Will and she was polyamorous, and like Will's on there crying. The same guy goes up and smacks Chris Rock for making fun of her. It's like, what?
Yeah. Did you see Jim Carrey's reaction, or not reaction, whatever that was, his whatever show he was on? Did you see that?
Well, Jim Carrey's reaction is the reason why I sort of question it, because you'd think he'd be arrested, like Jim Carrey said. You'd think that he'd be taken in handcuffs. The fact that he sat back down made me think it was fake. But then I see all this like outrage. It's like, well, maybe it's real. People are taking it very seriously, but people are stupid.
It's a weird day and age where everything's questioned and everything could be.
Well, it's not beyond the realm of possibility for like, let's pull a stunt and make the Oscars relevant again.
Yeah, a total Andy Kaufman. We just talked about Andy Kaufman. Then we talk about
him again, though. Like it hurts Will, though. I think in the end, I really do.
Totally.
And it kind of makes Chris Rock look weak. I mean,
I still feel like the public consensus is more on his side. if anything, and probably from what I'm seeing, like the majority of women, some women are on, oh, Will Smith's just standing up for his wife, and that's what he should do. It's like, all right, by physically assaulting somebody, and all women.
I saw that Tiffany Haddish said it was like the most romantic thing.
Yeah.
She ever saw. It's like, then you've never seen anything romantic. You have a sad love life, Tiffany. I'm sorry.
That's like a primal thing though. Like, men fighting over or standing up for men standing up. Let's see, from a woman's point of view, their husband standing up for them. Whether
so we had some biker bar where like some guy like is calling my wife.
What are you gonna do, honey? What are you gonna do, honey?
So yeah, so I'm at a bar and some biker dude calls my wife. I don't have one, but my wife a slut. So now I have to fight him.
But it wasn't a biker. But what if it was like a smaller, frailer person?
If I was bigger than them, I would definitely fight him.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
If it was a little 57-year-old black guy like Chris Rock, yeah, I'd smack him in the face. That ain't right though, man. Like,
no, it's not right.
The difference is Chris Rock was doing his job. They weren't at a bar and Chris Rock wasn't harassing them. Like,
yeah,
he was doing his job, man.
If okay, whatever 25, 75, whatever the percentage are. So let's say, let's say it's not real or not, it wasn't premeditative. It probably just comes down to just an act of rage, just an act of, we don't know what they went through before. Maybe they're fighting maybe,
yeah, exactly.
Jada was crying, didn't want to, do this. And I mean, I don't know. Is this like her first bald appearance? Is this her first appearance of being bald, or has she been bald for a while? I have no idea.
I don't know, because she's always had short hair. So when I saw her, I didn't think nothing of it really.
Right. So like,
oh my God, she's bald. I'm just like, okay, she decided to be bald now. She's always had short hair. So
maybe she was in tears all the way up to this and was feeling so insecure. And Will saw.
Did you listen to Will's speech?
No, I don't partake in that. I don't partake in Oscars.
It was nonsense. It was like God has chosen him and he's chosen him to protect. It was just like incoherent, delusional nonsense. Like, he's not right. After that speech, he should have been committed, honestly. Huh. After him hitting Chris Rock and then going up, he's like crying. And he's like, Richard, whatever, the Serena's dad, like he protected women and he protects women. And God's plan for him is so overwhelming sometimes, and it's hard for him. It was just like, I don't want to be rude, but like, he's blowing himself pretty much. Like, I'm so great, and God's got a mission for me, and it's just like, you're a fucking actor, you're a fucking rapper who turned into an actor, and you made a few good movies. Like, you can sit here and talk about God. Okay, God, let's talk about God. Does God condone violence? I mean, God's got a plan for you. Was it smacking Chris Rock? Because no one's going to talk about this. They're going to talk about you smacking Chris Rock.
Yeah. And it sucks about anybody else who won an award, because I have no idea, not that I paid attention anyway, but like, I have no idea who else won, what the best picture was, the best
it's like
actress.
There was some milestones. I can't think specifically, but as far as like, I think like a deaf actor won, which never happened before. A male actor, I think a female was one before. A deaf movie won best movie, but like, no one cares. There's some other milestones. It's all been overshadowed by a 53-year-old man smacking a 57-year-old man over his wife.
I did hear that there was no Bob Saget memorial.
Yeah.
So how do you?
That wasn't cool. They always screw somebody over though.
Well, this is Oscars, right? Is that just movies? Maybe because he wasn't. Yeah, I don't know.
And he directed other movies too. Maybe he wasn't an Academy Award-winning director, but he's the aristocrat as well. I mean, he's been in movies. Like,
yeah,
he's been on a lot of TV.
Yeah,
I know it's the Oscars though.
Well, speaking of deaths, we got to talk about this one. This death really hurts. Taylor Hawkins passed away Friday night. And I don't know. It really I don't know. It really sucks because granted, I don't even know the Foo Fighters are going to continue. Obviously you replace if you have to replace. I kept thinking, like, if any other band member besides Dave Grohl passed, feel like they would still continue. Maybe not right away. They would probably obviously take time and cancel the remaining tours. But like that was his like right hand guy. And it was hard enough to, like they went through like 2 or 3 different drummers before they found him. So I don't know. As being, I'm sure you are too, but being like a lifelong Foo Fighters fan, that one really hurt because like you have no idea if that, even if they do continue, it's not going to be the same version of the Foo Fighters, and just the way it happened too.
I saw them a couple years ago at the Enterprise Center, and it was probably, I didn't stay for the whole time because it was a long concert, and the person I was with was like not like a cool concert person. Basically used them for a ride. But it was like, it was some solid shit.
Yeah.
And I guess what they said, his heart was like 3 times the size of a man his age, and then they had some substances in his system, and he's had a history. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate for Dave because he's lost Kurt Cobain, and then he's lost this guy. Not the same circumstances, but he's in South America. Maybe he got some bad shit or something, or some really heavy shit that fucked him up.
I mean, I feel like obviously Nirvana, like, I mean, Foo Fighters, I mean, maybe not impact wise, but I feel like Foo Fighters have more, I don't want to say impact because they didn't change the game. Like Nirvana changed the game, but in terms of heightened popularity, like Foo Fighters are up there. And so with that said, Dave only was in the band for what, 3 years, maybe 4. Like he wasn't the original drummer until
Nirvana.
Yeah, in Nirvana.
Yeah.
So my point is like, the loss of Kurt really affected us, but like Taylor Hawkins was his bandmate for like 20 yeyears, 25 years. Well, he said they've been a band for 25 years. So probably he wasn't the first drummer, but he was one of the first drummers. I think the 3rd album he was on it. So my point is, I mean, he's been with Taylor a lot, like 3 times as long as he was with Kurt. So I feel like this impact of a loss is huge compared to him. But I don't know. I mean, I hate to speak.
Well, same thing with Pat Smear, who was also backup guitar, touring guitarist for Nirvana. It was on Unplugged. Okay, here's Nirvana versus Foo Fighters. All right, Nirvana came on at a time when rock was, you had hair metal, then you had the thrash, the Metallica, the Anthrax, the Megadeth. And then you had, the Def Leppard. You had Motley Crue was reigning supreme. Guns N' Roses was probably the biggest band in the world at that time. And then you had Jane's Addiction come out in the late 80s that had put some fucking crazy shit out there for the time. Jane's Addiction, Faith No More. And, Nirvana was really, honestly, just a glorified punk band. Their first album, Bleach, and then Insecticide were not big commercial successes, but started building them on that path. The Nirvana's relevance, obviously they have relevance, no one's going to argue that, is that they were the mouthpiece for Generation X.
Right.
Generation X was disillusioned. You got the baby boomers that are like peace and love, bunch of hippies. You got Gen X where everything sucks, nihilism, things blow. Then after that, you got millennials, us, bunch of pussies. Then you got Gen X, even more pussies. I'm just joking. Or Gen Z, my bad.
Yeah.
But Nirvana, the 80s was all excess. Let's do fucking lines and lines of cocaine, Wall Street, Reagan, money, money, money. Nirvana was like the emptiness to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right around the time where they could capitalize off MTV. MTV was at the height of its power. And they didn't last because Kurt just wasn't meant to last. And I think it gave Dave Grohl experiences that you couldn't get anywhere else that helped him move forward with the Foo Fighters. So Nirvana is more of like a period piece. They kind of represented that point in time in history. Mm-hmm. I couldn't imagine what they'd be like if Kurt was still alive today. I'm sure it'd be a hot ticket to sell, and they'd probably be releasing like weird shit they don't want on the radio and stuff like that. Because Kurt never wanted to be famous. I mean, he wanted his music heard, but I think him being famous contributed. Besides Courtney Love killing him, we don't know that, but and Dave and Courtney fought over the years over who owns Nirvana. Courtney claims she wrote in utero. I mean, I don't believe that's true. I believe Kurt wrote her first album because Billy Corgan wrote her second album.
Right.
So I don't think she wrote anything, but you know, they had Insecticide, Nevermind, put them mainstream in every household. Then you had In Utero was more of a gritty follow-up and had a couple of really big songs. Then The Death. That was 94. He came out in 97, 98 with the Foo Fighters. I remember my dad bought the CD. I mean, he was still relatively young at the time, maybe how old I am now. And I remember listening to it going, this is not Nirvana. It's alternative. It started off as like 90s alternative. It had that 90s alternative like vibe.
Yeah.
But then as they got into the 2000s and beyond, into 2000 teens, they became one of the main driving forces for rock. Like Foo Fighters, like you don't say rock without the Foo Fighters. It was almost a joke. Like every festival in the past few years is going to have all the pop and the rap. We need a rock band, Foo Fighters, right? Everyone loves the Foo Fighters. And that is the thing. It's like Nirvana didn't have that. Everybody, let's bring my family to Nirvana. That was more of a like, you know, a certain crowd's going to go to Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Foo Fighters is let's get the cooler of beers. Let's get some Bushwaters. Let's sit on the lawn with the kids.
Party.
Let's rock out to Everlong.
For 2.5 hours. Yeah.
It's more of like they became from like a hardcore alternative band to like a stadium rock hero.
Yeah.
Do I dare say that?
No, you're in the right.
All right. I mean, what was that movie like? They made that movie. I know you said you saw it.
Yeah.
Is that crap? I heard it's like, before you say anything,
I love it. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's not going to win
like
any
Evil
awards.
Dead. Is that right? It's like Evil Dead. Like the Bruce Campbell Evil Dead. Silly, but like violent.
Yeah, it's very, very violent, over the top. Yeah, in terms of the violence, yeah. But
was it like
but it was funny.
Evil Dead?
It was like really funny.
Okay.
So
is Dave Grohl, is he a good actor?
Yeah.
Is anybody bad in it? Is Pat Smear bad in it?
No, I loved all of it. Even like the bad was just like, and I'm fans of them. So yeah, you know, someone who's watching it, you know, writing for Rotten Tomatoes, of course, is, oh, this doesn't make sense. Well, it's a camp movie made by a band. It's just like that was just the whole, like I watched it like a day before Taylor's death. It's just so weird, like, because like obviously he dies in it, and he has like one of the best deaths in my opinion. So yeah,
that shows how much he's loved if they gave him one of the best death scenes.
I mean, that was my opinion. I mean, they're all pretty good. But it just sucks. It's gonna be so hard to watch now after the fact, because it was a movie that like I wanted to watch more than once.
I think, and I hate to say this, but I assume they were going to continue on and get a ringer drummer because these bands, as we know, we've talked about, they get money hungry as they get older and become more business. But I actually respect them for doing the right thing.
What are they going to do?
There's some people who are drummers, and then there's some people who are drummers, and he was a drummer. Like you can't just
not only that, he was Dave's, you know, brother. Like, so it's not like they can. I mean, who knows? I mean, we're just peons talking about what they're going to do, but yeah, I mean, do they have? I know they're doing world dates. Do they have like any big legs coming up, or was it just one off like Lollapalooza? And I know they're supposed to do the Grammys or some award show, but do they have a lot of dates booked after this?
I'm not sure. I know they're not coming here. They came here in August.
I couldn't look online because they scrapped all the dates.
I know I think it says cancel tour, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they had more festivals besides Lollapalooza as well. No, they're not on Lollapalooza this year. They're not.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the Argentina Lollapalooza. That's the one where it happened.
Oh, yes. They have Lollapalooza in Europe and South America. I forgot.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's, I mean, kind of like you said, like, you know, us being of our age and growing up with rock bands, like they were, I mean, there's a lot of rock bands, but like, I don't know. I feel like they were the Rolling Stones of our age. Like,
they were consistent. They were always there, whether you were really into them at the time or not. I think everyone had a Foo Fighters stage. but they were always there. You always knew that Foo Fighters were going to be there, and that's
Yeah.
not the case anymore.
Right. At least at that. I mean, they'll probably will continue, but still, it's not going to be the same.
You know how many rock stations I've worked for? Well, like not like a million, but each one I have play a shitload of Foo Fighters, like a shitload.
Yeah.
They're a heavy band right now.
So yeah, I mean, there's nothing really much to be said. I mean, it was pretty.
If he did die of drugs, which it looks like, it doesn't diminish his death. Death is death. Just like people are saying, like Bob Saget was beaten to death. Whatever, man. He still fucking died, dude. Who gives a shit? Like,
right.
Yeah.
I would recommend. I mean, I always listen to Foo Fighters. I mean, always a fan of their documentaries, and I recommend watching the last
Sonic Highways.
Well, I mean, watch the documentaries for sure. They're all good. I like all of them. I just watched the last show from Argentina, and it was awesome. Somehow it's online for free on YouTube. It's the whole show. And it's really sad. There's just like there's some lines in a couple of the songs that are talk about like, what's this these days. Oh no, these days your heart will
That's
stop.
not one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's a line there where one day, what's the line? You'll stop and play. Your heart will stop, and you'll play your final beat. It's like, holy crap! I don't know. To end on a light note, I saw the Jackass movie.
How was it?
I like it. I like anything Jackass. It was great.
You think people getting hurt is funny, Jerry?
I love it. Yeah, because they do it to themselves. And Johnny Knoxville took some hits. He's not the old guy who's sitting back making the money watching the new guys do it. I mean, there was at least two where he got sent to the hospital.
Knoxville?
One where he could have died for sure. Yeah.
I heard he has a catheter, like to pee. Like he's fucked himself up that bad.
I'm sure he has. And if not, before this, he's really messed up now. I don't know how the guy he's at WrestleMania. He was at Royal Rumble, and he's I think he has a match at WrestleMania this weekend.
I remember it was like the third one. I guess the other guys were giving him shit, saying that he's just the money man and he ain't doing shit. And he like really put himself out there and like was on some rocket that exploded before he went off. It could have killed him. Like, yeah. Like he like stepped up. Is Bam Margera in it? He's
in one.
Really?
And that's the one I think they showed because it's one of the sketches that sent Steve-O to the hospital. So I think they had to include that. It was gnarly. I'm telling you, it's not shy. They haven't backed down. And I feel like the two of the worst, the ones I've always loved because they always pick on him is the oh God, what are their names? The Aaron guy who has the mohawk. He's the one that had the pube beard.
Oh yeah.
In part 2. I think that was part 2. And he was in a, what was it? Oh, he played a terrorist taxi driver. Remember that? And then the guy freaked out on him.
That was the dude from Broken Lizard, wasn't it?
Yeah, what am I thinking? It was a sketch where he had where they put the beard on him and it was all pubes, and he was playing like a terrorist.
I know that guy's a dumbass. That guy.
Yeah, but he took some gnarly hits in this one.
What about Steve-O?
Steve-O did some of the smaller things.
Pussed out, huh? He was always the highlight of every movie almost.
He took a couple that were hurt, but like it wasn't just a lot of Steve-O featuring. And then there was 3 to 4 new people and a female, which was interesting to see. There's the ones that stuck out were him, Aaron, and then the guy, God, what's his name? The guy who shits on everything. He's the one that went in like the episode where he goes into a hardware store and shits in the toilet.
Yeah. I
I
remember
forgot his
that.
name. He did a couple.
Is there that kind of quality humor though, where they do that kind of stuff?
Uh,
Like when Steve-O, or not Steve-O, Steve-O wouldn't do it because his dad would disown him.
yeah, right.
Ryan Dunn put the car up his ass and went and got x-rays with that doctor. Like, is that kind of quality of humor? Because that was like some of the funniest shit I saw.
They use a lot of expensive. I'll talk about one. They use a lot of expensive equipment and engineering to light a fart underwater.
Wow.
So I say it has it all. I don't know if it was the best, but it was still pretty good. And then
I
apparently
thought 3D. Did you see 3D?
3D was really good. I
I
like
like
3D.
3D.
Oh, well, I like 3D because of the technology. Because that was like the first like really good like slow motion and
It's just like dildos flying at you though.
yeah, they well that was
Like all the
that day
time.
and
Like
age
every 5
where
seconds there's
every
some like
movie
dildo.
that had 3D had the 3D gimmick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. I don't know, it was good. I liked it. And
I
then
remember
apparently
that one they launched Steve-O into the air and he was in a porta potty and he got like covered in fucking feces. It was nasty.
that makes its return in this one.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I hear there's a 4.5, so that'll be out at some point. So I don't care what they do. I
What's the runtime?
hour and a half, hour and 40.
What'd you watch it on?
My TV.
What did you like? Is it on a platform or did you rent it?
I rented it.
Okay, I didn't know. That's all you could have said. Without
I think it's on Paramount.
Paramount. Okay,
think
I'm about to get Paramount. Actually, I'm gonna have a review for that next time.
What's on Paramount? That
We're gonna find out. I know the Scream movies on there. That's probably what I'm gonna do tonight. Is some nostalgia. You know.
movie. Yeah, I should watch that. I talked about last time. You should get Apple TV too. There's a lot of. I started a show called Severance with Adam Scott.
If you watched the Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd one,
No, I still haven't finished that one yet.
you finished the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah,
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
that was a long time ago. That was good.
I know we never talked about it though.
I know. We can talk about that or the Euphoria ending.
Okay, real quick. I thought Righteous Gemstones was legendary. I liked how it ended. Again, I love Eric Andre, Danny McBride are awesome. Edie Patterson, that's like my comedy crush.
Who is?
She's amazing.
Who?
Huh?
Who is?
Edie Patterson,
Who's that?
the sister.
Oh yeah. What else has she been in?
Well, Vice Principals, and I looked up her thing. She's been in some miscellaneous movies, and then she's done a lot of like voices for like cartoons. And she's a comedian, like does comedy.
I love her and BJ. I think BJ is hilarious.
Yeah, like I would watch that episode again, the baptism. Like that was such a good episode.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the episode with when Macaulay Culkin is revealed as his son.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. You told me about it, but we didn't talk about it. So Macaulay Culkin was his son, and Uncle Baby Billy went and saw him. And apparently he was selling COVID cures. Did you catch that? He was like, "This cures COVID" at one of those like presentations.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. I got something to bring up actually. Something I saw. It's relevant to this, actually, very relevant to this. So Macaulay Culkin punched him in the face, but you saw that he was at the mass at the end, right? So maybe there's some resolution. Yeah. And then I guess they got those motorcycle guys from the orphanage, like to work for them.
Yeah, God. How long ago? It wasn't even a couple months ago. I remember they killed Eric Andre, but
Eric Andre, like they had an orphanage and they're too violent to be inside. And Eric Andre went out there and like they're all like riding dirt bikes and they're the ones he hired.
Right.
And they're like, it was $300,000 and they started shooting at him. And I guess John Goodman, they took over the orphanage because they had that creepy shit with Adam Devine and that creepy guy. They're like, yeah, let's watch these kids work out. Yeah. I was like, watch it. You guys are being kind of, you guys are supposed to be likable.
So good. I love
so I guess they got those kids in the dirt bikes to go find Eric Andre.
Yeah.
And kill him.
Yep.
But, I watched a movie on HBO Max called The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
I heard that's good. Is it like the same?
Huh?
that like the same type of humor? Is it a funny movie or is it
It's a biography, documentary, or not
okay,
documentary, biopic.
biopic? Yeah.
It's are you familiar with the Jim Baker Tammy Faye story?
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Garfield plays Jim Baker, and then Jessica Chastain plays Tammy Faye. She won Best Actress for she got an Oscar for it, even though Will Smith overshadowed it.
Mm.
Vincent D'Onofrio is Jerry Falwell, and it just causes Michael Showalter wrote it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from The State and What Hot American Summer.
That's great.
And basically just the rise and fall of their story. It's good. It's sad. I mean, they're what's wrong with the evangelical shit though. Like they're just wrong, criminals. Jim Baker's still out there somewhere. I think he's in Branson broadcasting. I see videos where they make fun of him, like edit him, so it's like stupid. Tammy's dead now, but yeah, I recommend it. It's on HBO Max, about 2 hours. And if you're familiar with the story, you'll find it interesting. They're pretty I saw there's a documentary with the same name for some reason, and that's what I watched like a year ago. And it was pretty much like it covered everything because there's a scene where Ted Koppel interviews them during their downfall. They try to do damage control, and the interview I don't think goes very well. And it shows in the documentary as soon as the camera goes off, they take their earpods out and just start crying. And that's in the movie. It's like, wow, that's so on point. Like that guy did his homework. Like Vincent D'Onofrio is a great actor, but he was just like, I'm Jerry Falwell.
Yeah.
This is I don't know. I'm not saying he did a bad job, but I don't know. I always see him doing knockout roles. It's like, oh, the homosexuals are taking over our country. We must stop them.
That sounds like Alex Jones.
Kind of. Did he I don't know Jerry Falwell that well. I don't want to know Jerry Falwell that well, but I didn't know he was just kind of like,
yeah. I'll just check that one out because if it's anything like, because I've heard it's like comparable to the gems, like the real life gemstones.
It is exactly like the real life, except like the gemstones aren't as bad as these people, except the gemstones did commit murder pretty much. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. And
Andrew Garfield should have been nominated, I think, for his role as Jim Baker. He did if you've ever seen Jim Baker, he nailed his mannerisms and everything.
Interesting. Well, maybe I'll check that out this week and we'll talk about it next week in more in depth.
Maybe you should. Also check out Peacemaker.
I started that and I kind of forgot about it. I'm watching it ends well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it as soon as I started the impeachment crime, the American Crime Story impeachment.
Okay.
About Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. That's on Hulu. It's pretty good.
Oh wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through that one right now.
Oh, I need to watch I don't know what it's called. Is it called Showtime? The Adam McKay Lakers show. Apparently that's available.
Yeah, there's just so many shows. My thing is I want to wait until like all episodes are done in a season and then ingest them that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear it's good, but I can't keep up. Can't keep up with all these shows.
That's a problem I want to have versus nothing to watch because I need to escape from my terrible life.
Yeah.
I don't know how to act, so I watch people on TV and I emulate that in real life scenarios. Sometimes it doesn't go very well depending on what I watch.
Any reads from Chad's Water this week?
Listen, if you've bought Chad's Water in the past 6 months, you can't prove shit that it's done anything bad to you. You can't link it. Okay? Like, even if it burned going down and you threw up like bubbles and like a foam and stuff, how is that related to Chad's Water? Maybe it
could be long COVID.
Just could be your body sucks. Like, who does that? Who drinks delicious water and foams at the mouth? What's wrong with you? Maybe you should think about that.
Maybe.
I don't know. But Chad's got a new line coming out for the spring, just for like the weather and everything. But litigation.
He
I
needs to come
tried
up
to
with
go
it.
up to the gas station up the street to see if they stocked some of Chad's water. And they said they had plenty of it in the bathroom. And I went in the bathroom and all I saw was just the toilet and the urinal.
He needs to come up with a seltzer.
Yeah.
Seltzer.
Well, what he's trying to do is like, those waters that try to replace your thirst for soda.
Yeah.
Where like, it's like flavored water. Like he's trying to do that, but like the only flavor he can come up with is like piss at this point. And one time I thought it was berry. It was like a berry drink, but apparently he got nailed in the nuts. Like
it's Johnny Knoxville flavor.
Have you seen the memes where Johnny Knoxville looks like Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah. My only problem with the movie is I know they film, years, and I think like half was before the pandemic and half was during the pandemic, and so the times are all messed up and probably took years, but like some scenes he has gray hair, some scenes he has black hair, and it's not like in any order. Like it'll be black hair, black hair, gray hair, black hair, gray hair, black hair, gray hair, black hair. Not a huge deal, but it's just like continuity. Should have kept it gray the whole time.
You think they're like old? Like he like put together old clips from like they never aired before?
No. I mean, it's dyed hair. It's not like
some shoe polish.
Yeah. He even joked about a bald spot. He's like, don't show my bald spot. I don't know. I recommend it. If you're gonna get Paramount Plus,
listen,
watch it.
Johnny Knoxville is the reason for that show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's the reason why he got it together. But nobody else. He's like the Howard Stern of Jackass. Nobody else really like. I mean, you had Wild Boys that didn't literally last.
Right.
You had Dr. Steve-O that didn't really last. That Bam Margera thing like blew up. Bam Margera became a nightmare. Ryan Dunn unfortunately died. The other people were probably like scary and sad. I don't even the big fat guy. I don't know. Like I don't even want to know what's up with him. Was he there, Preston?
Yeah. He's still fat, but I think he's less fat. He looked.
Good for him.
He looked less fat.
Gotta be healthy to be a jackass.
I mean, he's still fat. He's still very big, but I think he's lost a little weight.
Well,
he has a pretty funny scene too.
You got to be in good shape to get nailed in the nuts. So
literally.
Did he chase the midget in his underwear?
No, but what you just said.
Okay.
That's literally what happened to him. So
these guys are like 50 now, though. And I'm not young either, but I'm just like, is it still funny or is it like?
I think it is.
Okay.
I mean, they got some young guys in there too.
They got Next Generation.
They got Next Generation. Yeah.
Great.
They do some funny things, but I don't know.
Thanks for including me.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to touch upon before we wrap up?
Anything else before we wrap up?
Yeah.
Well,
it's been about an hour.
I didn't see any movies that won anything at the Oscars. Every movie I saw didn't win shit. The Oscars don't understand me. I wanted to see Chris Rock slap Will Smith, not the other way around. They're so out of touch.
That's it. Yeah. Well, isn't there another one? I always thought there's always two shows that do the exact same thing. Is it Oscar? No. So the
Oscars is the last one. Just the last one. Then there's the Grammys. Hopefully they don't go.
There's two that are both movies.
I think Oscars is afterwards. The first one sets the stage for the Oscars.
What's that one called? The Academy Awards?
Oh, that's the Oscars. I don't know what it is. I know what you're talking about. It's like Screen Actors Guild Award or something.
Yeah, or something. I don't know. I'm in my 30s and I still don't. That's how much I pay attention.
I tell you what, everyone's going to be watching next year to see fights, and they better not let them down.
Oh, I know. They set a precedent.
See, Triple H retired?
I mean, I don't watch wrestling, so I saw the news. I didn't think he still. I mean, is Stone Cold retired? Actually, Stone Cold's at WrestleMania this weekend.
He is.
I don't think he's gonna
But
fight.
Triple H had to get a pacemaker in, so he's officially not ever going to fight again.
I mean, that's like saying like, because I don't think Triple H has wrestled in years. So it's just like saying Kane retired, or I
He
think
still
Undertaker.
didn't fight at all.
I don't know. I don't think
I know
so.
he was like the commissioner or whatever, like management or whatever, but he didn't get in the
Not
ring ever.
lately. I mean, I don't keep up. I just watched. I went to the Royal Rumble and he wasn't there.
I'm just saying, maybe he's having problems because he had some heart problems. So
Yeah.
maybe Scott Hall, Triple H, like just more people stepping down. I mean,
They're old.
Yeah.
They're old. Yep.
Was WrestleMania this weekend?
I think so. I thought I saw all the promos, and of course I'll probably check it out for Stone Cold. That's why he's there for my demographic. I don't care about anybody else. I looked at the rest of the card, like I have no idea who any of these other people are.
That's the problem, is there's no stars now. So that's why it's like SNL. That's why they got to bring back like
Well, Brock Lesnar's still in it, but now it's 2 nights. I think Brock Lesnar. It's 2 nights. It has been the last 2 years.
Who's Stone Cold fighting?
Kevin Owens. But I don't think he's wrestling like that. Seriously, like that's the headliner.
Yeah.
But it's called KO show. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm saying it's just when I look at the cards, that's all I see. I just see the cards, and it's like just makes me feel like so out of touch because I don't know who any of these people are, and like there's no like ladder matches. Like there's none of those anymore. It's just they're all one-on-ones and no cage matches. And it's like why? Yeah, I mean, the only reason I would watch it because it's free. It's on Peacock. That's the only reason why I would I just turn it on and it's on. I would never pay money. No way. But I think Brock Lesnar's he's the next night. That's the only one I remember or that I know of. And Rey Mysterio, he's still in it too, but he does nothing like tag teams now. So I don't know. It just sucked because I went to the Royal Rumble and apparently like I watched it and I'm like, okay, this is wrestling. But then like reading all like the reviews and stuff, it was reviewed as the worst Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things, just another one of those things where I try to pay attention, like, just makes me feel out of touch and old because it's not like how it used to. Which
Don't feel bad.
It shouldn't.
Don't feel bad.
Now the other one, the AEW, they have all the wrestlers that not all of them, but a lot of wrestlers that we watch. Like they have Sting still, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Hardy, and somebody else. I never watch it. I just see like, the clips on social media. Like Jeff Hardy did a Swanton bomb in the where they sell the merch. Like, dude, dude's like it's talking about Jackass. Like he's got to be 50 or close to it.
Yeah.
So that's our wrestling report.
Yeah.
The experts. So anyway, all right. Well, we'll say it one more time. Rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. Hopefully the Foo Fighters will. I don't know. It would be weird if they came back, like in the next year. I feel like without.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same.
Because like they do everything like grandiose production. I mean, it's more or less. The thing I could see them doing is because they've done it before, doing like a acoustic show. And then like keeping the drum set up with like a light behind it, and then doing like just acoustic. I know it's not the same, but I don't know. They did a tour like that before, or like half of it was acoustic.
Dude,
like
all like a drummer.
No, I still feel they'll keep it. I don't know. They won't make a big deal out of it.
Just have like a drummer wear like a Taylor Hawkins mask, like Static X.
Yeah, I don't know. My prediction is we might hear from Dave, but I don't think we'll see the Foo Fighters in anything in the next year or so. Maybe 6 months. It's just my prediction.
Yeah.
I mean, they played like 40 songs. Like they play like 2.5 hours. So it's like, even if you had to get a drummer up to speed, it's not an easy feat. So
right.
But anyway, rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins. Hopefully, Foos will continue at some point, because it'd be a shame if they, stop from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. They need time to heal.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And the fans need time to heal.
Yeah.
How much time? We don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, he did it
To
before.
continue the tour would have been shitty.
Yeah. I think I like to no surprise. I think that was like the headline, to no surprise, they canceled all remaining tour dates. Like, yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
So, all right, we'll end on that note. And hopefully next week will be more happy and pleasant. But until next time, follow us at Happy Medium Pod. See you next time.
See ya.